Hi, it's Fran from Living Your Greatest Life. I'm just going to do a video about red flags. So, what sorts of things would be a red flag to maybe having a potential alienator? Now, a lot of you looking at this video currently will be well past this stage, but we're going to do it anyway because there are people out there who really do need to be more aware. So, maybe to me, the first red flag I would say is somebody threatening that you're never going to see your kids again. That to me, I mean, healthy parents wouldn't even think that, let alone say it. So if that's in someone's mind and it comes out of their mouth, be extra careful because there could be a time when actually that may be in action. Another red flag, which is really about what you do, as in moving on. So if one is moving on from an abusive partner, I would say if you've got a new relationship, then keep that under wraps for a long period of time. Not that you should live your life through that previous ex-partner. They should not control you, but we're well aware of these kind of things with coercive control. And basically, if you've got a new relationship, or for a start, if you've got any sense, then you would make sure that everything's okay and you've been together for a long time and you know that person before introducing them to your child. But potentially anything that you do now will affect that person on the other end who has control. So I'm not saying for 1 minute you need to give up your life, and for many of you, you wouldn't even want to entertain having a new relationship. But just be aware that whatever you do, there will be a consequence, because usually that person will want to punish you and stop you from moving on. So that could potentially be a cause of alienation in the future. Not an unjustified cause, let's say. A massive red flag, if you're getting into a relationship, or if you're in a relationship and you're thinking about having children, if your partner tells you that they're not allowed to see their children, and people, targeted parents, that's something else. But always check out that story. Always check out that story, because it is likely that it's somebody that will go on to alienate has already caused those kind of issues before. Also, watch out for those people in relationships who are being controlled in some way by their parents. So maybe their parents are like, adult parents are of adults are overly demanding and almost sort of somewhat controlling, because be mindful that actually if things go wrong between the two of you, they are likely to become, like flying monkeys, or to become recruited to encourage and further that alienation. So just really be aware. Be extra special careful, and this is another red flag, for blaming you for breaking up the family. So for example, if you left your ex-partner, if they are reporting to your kids that actually it's your fault, and they're telling your children you are to blame and telling other people that you are to blame, unless of course you are, which is unlikely because you probably wouldn't be watching this, but they will try to blame you. And that can translate into alienating behaviours in the future. So be mindful of that one. Guys, particularly watch out for, this is another red flag, maybe if the relationship is about to end and the woman is saying that she's pregnant, because if you look back over certain cases, that's quite a tough one, because the guy obviously remains almost obliged to stay within that relationship. So that could be like a little bit of entrapment and an excuse to control you through the child. So be aware. Another thing that I'd like to mention is if you are thinking of leaving your partner, you have children with them, I would strongly advise you do not leave either your family home, and especially your children, until you have something legal in place, if at all possible, or some sort of agreement between you. Because if you retract yourself from that setup, it's going to be a whole lot harder to achieve, and it could mean that you are subject to being controlled in that way. Obviously, if you need to leave your house, if you and the children need to leave the house and leave the partner because you're being abused or you're at risk of harm, then obviously you're going to have to do that and deal with the stuff later. So that's it for today. Just a few little pointers. I'll be making some more videos regarding this subject. And that's it from me. I'll see you in my next video, and be careful.